I understand it's probably really hard to keep up with all the criminals that Donald Trump is pardoning, but at least we're going to get to possibly some of the reasons why he's doing it. First, here's this liar, Caroline Levitt.
So, separate topic on presidential pardon power. Why did the president commute the sentence of David Gentile recently? He was a private equity executive. He served 12 days out of a 7-year sentence. Prosecutors said he defrauded $1.6 billion with thousands of victims, including veterans, farmers, teachers. Why was he pardoned?
To your first question, that's definitely not a decision for me to make. I would defer you to the Department of War. It's also probably a decision for the president himself to make. As for your second question with respect to that pardon, he issued a commutation for Mr. Gentile, who's the former CEO and co-founder of GBP Capital Holdings. Unlike similar companies, GBP paid regular annualized distributions to its investors. In 2015, GBP disclosed to investors the possibility of using investor capital to pay some of these distributions rather than funding them from current operations. Even though this was disclosed to investors, the Biden Department of Justice claimed it was a Ponzi scheme. This claim was profoundly undercut by the fact that GBP had explicitly told investors what would happen. At trial, the government was unable to tie any supposedly fraudulent representations to Mr. Gentile. In short, again, this is another example that has been brought to the president's attention of a weaponization of justice from the previous administration, and therefore he signed this commutation.
So say that these people were defrauded.
I just read you a very detailed summary of why the commutation was made.
I just read you a laundry list of lies about why this commutation was given. Who cares about facts? Who cares about what was actually said and actually proven in the evidence that was given in these convictions of these guys? So that was Caroline Levitt giving the Trump administration's version of reality. Here's Jake Tapper talking about what has actually happened.
The commutation of the 7-year prison sentence for convicted fraudster David Gentile, wiping away any further fines and restitution as well. Gentile is the former CEO and owner of GPB Capital Holdings. He, along with another private equity executive, were convicted in 2024 in what federal prosecutors described as a $1.6 billion scheme, defrauding more than 10,000 investors. Why on earth would President Trump commute the prison sentence of this fraud? Well, here's what the White House said when asked.
And this is another example that has been brought to the president's attention of a weaponization of justice from the previous administration, and therefore he signed this commutation.
Who brought this case to President Trump's attention and claimed it was weaponization? I asked the White House press secretary, Caroline Levitt. She did not respond. I mean, it couldn't have been Trump's handpicked U.S. attorney in New York who brought it to President Trump's attention, because that U.S. attorney in May of this year applauded the 7-year sentence for Gentile. He called it a, quote, well-deserved and should serve as a warning to would-be fraudsters that seeking to get rich by taking advantage of investors gets you only a one-way ticket to jail. So who brought it to President Trump's attention? It couldn't have been the assistant director in charge of the FBI's New York field office, because he said that Gentile and his co-defendant, quote, wove a web of lies to steal more than $1 billion from investors through empty promises of guaranteed profits and unlawfully rerouting funds to provide an illusion of success, unquote. So who was it? And why were they more compelling than the thousands of Americans whom Gentile defrauded?
That's a good question, Jake, because again, that's blowing up that lie that Caroline Levitt told from the beginning, saying the Biden administration called this a Ponzi scheme, because as long as they say Biden and then insert whatever lie they want to tell afterwards, they expect everyone to believe it. So Trump's U.S. attorney applauded the sentence. How is Trump's U.S. attorney Biden? Also, assistant director of this FBI office also talked about how this is a Ponzi scheme and how this guy is corrupt and he's guilty. It's crazy. Also, it's weird because he was convicted. That's the other thing that we usually go off of when it comes to a judicial process here in this country. But this is a fascist state. Why would we care about any of that? They just make things up. We have these arguments and debates about what the reality of things are, and we never actually talk to the people who experienced it, who are now seeing these commutations and these pardons come down and how it affects them.
Carol Ann, thanks you for joining us. You lost nearly $500,000. You have been able to claw back $40,000, but most of it's gone. What was your reaction when you heard that President Trump had commuted Gentile sentence, so he only served 12 days of a 7-year sentence?
I'm totally disgusted because it wasn't only myself, it was my elder mother in her 90s and my sister as well. We all got defrauded.
What would you say to President Trump if he were watching right now?
I'd ask him why he did this. It makes no sense. I don't have an answer as to why this guy can do what he did, basically build a Ponzi scheme, walk out scot-free. And you got Bernie Madoff, who had to live it out, and people were returned funds. I had to hire, with the help of Adam, who did a great job, claw back a measly pauper sum of nothing. And it makes no sense to me. I don't understand why.
So Carol Ann,
who bought him off?
Carol Ann, who bought Trump off? Is that what you're asking?
No.
Who bought
off David? Gentile off.
Yeah.
Who did Gentile have to pay to get out?
You were on the right track the first time. It was Donald Trump who he paid, or at least he paid someone else to lobby Donald Trump to go ahead and go this route. We'll get to that in a second. But we heard I heard the $500,000 number is what is that particular woman lost. You said along with her sister and her mother all lost 6 figures worth of money to this guy. But there's a little bit more because she lost her faith in some things.
When I went to ask for my money back, because I had grief brain, my late husband had just died, and I was told wonderful products to get into. You've got to do this. Let's get your family into them. Well, you're not really functioning for quite some time after you lose your spouse of many, many years. And when I asked for money back, oh no, they're just waiting. What are they waiting for? Call me in about 6 months. Time went on and there was no money, none.
Do you have any hope of getting back the hundreds of thousands of dollars you lost?
No, I wish. I mean, my mother lost over 100,000. My sister is in the same boat as I am. You lose faith in these type of people. I've lost faith in Wall Street.
That kind of struck me. She's lost faith in Wall Street. You see the way this Wall Street's also one of those entities that we sell off as this, this entity where you create your wealth, which a lot of people do. But as it's more and more corrupt and more people like, this corrupt guy in the White House manipulate it for their own purposes, it's things like this is what they gear themselves towards, helping the folks who fix the game, who fix the system, defraud people, steal their money. Donald Trump enjoys those folks. Those are the folks that Donald Trump has dinner with and talks about how great things are. You guys saw this lady's attorney sitting there as well. One more chance here to dispel all those lies about how this was not a Ponzi scheme and it wasn't anything that anyone should be worried about. I'm sorry, it was a Biden weaponization of our justice system. Please.
So, Adam, the White House argues this is not a Ponzi scheme, that Gentile did not make any fraudulent statements. They claim this is another example of weaponization by the Biden administration. What's your response to that?
Joseph Nasello, who is the Eastern District's U.S. attorney, said that this was a Ponzi scheme. He was appointed by Trump himself. He said it back in May. So you tell me, was this a political commutation of Mr. Gentile's sentence or not? And why only Mr. Gentile? Why not his partner? His partner's still serving his sentence. And if Mr. Gentile really was innocent, why not give him a full pardon?
We reached out to Gentile's lawyer, who told us no comment.
Gentile's partner is still sitting his dumb ass in jail. Guess he didn't have the money. I guess he didn't have the influence or the connection to someone who could lobby Donald Trump to let them off for whatever kind of kickback or quid pro quo that they were discussing. This is what Donald Trump works on. Maybe it's what J.D. Vance works on, because I was just wondering a couple weeks ago, what the hell does J.D. Vance do? Besides, sit in front of audiences and tell really weird, hokey stories that no one gives a damn about. They must be working on their backdoor corrupt dealings. So that's the Ponzi scheme commutation. It's not the only one. Here's another one.
But this one stands out because Trump has pardoned now a former top entertainment executive who was indicted by Trump's own Justice Department less than 5 months ago. Now, this full and unconditional pardon for the Oakview Group co-founder Tim Leiweke was posted online tonight by the Justice Department. It's dated December 2nd. It bears the president's signature, as you can see here. But Lewicki was just indicted 5 months ago by Trump's own antitrust division over accusations that he orchestrated a conspiracy to rig the bidding process for a public university arena in Austin. He's also just pardoned someone who has a history of blasting him online. Look at this. In August 2023, the same day that Trump was indicted for conspiring to overturn the 2020 election, the person that Trump just pardoned, Lewicki, wrote, according to now deleted posts that were seen by CNN, "This isn't political, and God bless Vice President Pence for standing up and fighting for our Constitution and due process. If you have any shred of love for our country, let a jury of peers decide if he is innocent, not you." In another post from February 2024, Lewicki replied to a post that was praising the president's movement as being under God. He responded and said, "Claims the man that doesn't attend any mass on any Sunday, divorced twice, cheated on all 3 wives, paid off porn stars, don't think he is my compass on my God or my faith. World's single greatest con man." Tonight, we reached out to Lewicki for comment, not just on his past comments on President Trump, but also this pardon. He told CNN he doesn't have the words to adequately convey his profound gratitude to the White House and President Trump. He said, "This has been a long and difficult journey for my wife, my daughter, and me. The president has given us a new lease on life."
This is a different pardon. Trump's own officials in July of this year put this whole thing together and got this guy's ass. But somehow a few months later, I guess it's still the weaponization of Joe Biden's Department of Justice. Somehow. Maybe someone should have asked them more specifically about this one and see whatever kind of lie they can come up with to try and escape this one. I'm not sure why I still think they're trying to escape anything. They're not trying to. We saw Caroline Leavitt from the beginning tell complete lies, and then when confronted about it, say, all I was doing was reading the lie list that I was given for the day. But also on top of that, this is how these folks' brains work. This is how these folks, rich and connected people in this country, also work. This guy bashed Donald Trump so many different times, how he's a con man, a philanderer, has baby mamas, and all this stuff that he went after him on. And now, after getting his ass saved for whatever reason that he paid enough people to get to this point, now I can't thank the president enough. What a wonderful individual. I can't believe he do this. He gave me and my family a brand new lease on life. So the next time they want you to give a damn about these billionaires, these multimillionaires, and these people who have rich and powerful connections to literally skirt the law, even after being convicted with overwhelming evidence, the next time they want anybody that isn't super rich to have any kind of sympathy for these fucking billionaires, think about how much they think about you when they get their brand new lease on life. If you're looking for your brand new lease on life, do you think these guys who just got their sentences commuted, and also pardoned, do you really think they're going, you know what? I wish Donald Trump would do something for the little guy? I feel like the answer is no. I feel like they've got middle fingers for you instead. And they're like, well, I'm rich and powerful and connected. Who are you? So those guys, all of them.